In your initial statement, the league's initial statement has said that diversity, equity, and inclusion were core principles of the NFL.
This is Jim Trotter, an employee of the NFL-run NFL Network.
In the 100-plus year history of this league, 24 of 32 franchises have either had one black head coach or no black head coaches. We've got the Bills, the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Falcons, the Giants, the Jaguars, the Panthers, the Patriots, the Rams, the Ravens, the Saints, the Seahawks, the Titans, who have never had a black head coach. That's nearly half the league.
Just a quick note, as an employee of the league, this takes serious courage, and I commend Jim for asking this detailed question.
There's never been a majority black owner. There's only been one black club president. We look at the GMs, now we're up to 7. 5 of those were hired in the last 12 months. We're now at 3 black head coaches, 2 of whom were hired after Brian Flores filed his lawsuit.
Trotter, however, does not stop with the need for inclusivity with teams, as he follows with this question as well.
When we look at the league office, of the top 11 executives there are only 2 people of color. When we look at NFL Media Group, where I work, there is not one black person at the senior level in the newsroom who makes decisions about a league whose player population is 70% black. So as a member of the media group and as a black man, I ask, why does the NFL and its owners have such a difficult time at the highest levels hiring black people into decision-making positions?
This is textbook, guys. Every single journalism class in the country should be playing this. Now, for the word salad.
Listen, we look at the same numbers, and they're really part of the effort that, again, looking at how do we become more effective in our policies and procedures. We work really hard. We believe in diversity. We believe in it as a value. We believe it's made it stronger. People who've come into the league who are diverse have been very successful and made us better.
Well, yeah, no, Raj.
We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much-needed change in this country.
He can say whatever he likes because he does not work for the players. He does not work for inclusion and equality. He works for the owners. We're under majority ownership. Only one team has a minority at the helm, that being the Jacksonville Jaguars' Shad Khan, a frequent owner to Donald Trump. A position that, per the New York Times' reporting, made Roger Goodell roughly $128 million from 2019 to 2021 alone. Goodell's saying that Black Lives Matter is almost like a slap in the face, Michael Bennett told the Daily Beast. For decades, black talent has been exploited at a high level in the NFL. He knows Black Lives Matter because without black players, the NFL wouldn't be as lucrative as it is.
70% of your teammates were black. There are almost no black coaches in the NFL, head coaches in the NFL. Why?
I think the black players have to say more. I think black players have been very silent on this. But I'm just saying, just like Colin Kaepernick was able to step up and change the narrative on what's happening outside of the NFL, how do we have that same narrative if all 70% of all players said we're not playing till we start getting more black coaches in positions of power, till we get more black coaches in this, we can take the victimization of it and take the power and the control and say we're not playing.
This is the way. From Michael Bennett himself, an ex-player and Super Bowl winner, players do not realize how much power they have, withholding their labor and halting the revenue streams that the owners depend on and literally only serve is the hand to play. Dylan Hernandez of the LA Times wrote, the NFL's player population is 70% black. That doesn't make the NFL a diverse league. That makes the NFL a black league. The problem is that in a time when 7 out of 10 people who know what it's like to strap on a helmet and play in an NFL game, the 32-team league has only 2 black head coaches, Mike Tomlin of the Steelers and Lovie Smith, who was recently hired by the Texans.
We work really hard. We believe in diversity. We believe in it as a value. We believe it's made it stronger.
The larger picture is indefensible, looking almost as if the league has secretly implemented a reverse affirmative action program. The reality that almost every single team hires a white head coach almost every single time points to a bias, specifically an anti-black bias.
Is there another thing that we can do to make sure we're attracting that best talent here and making our league inclusive?
Well, one big change would be the elimination of sham interviews, which Brian Flores, ex-Dolphins head coach and Bill Belichick disciple, outlined in his lawsuit. He was told the New York Giants were filling their position per Belichick's own text messages, leading Flores to the obvious conclusion. The G-men brought him in to fulfill a quota, the interviewing of a minority, even knowing the outcome. It's gut-wrenching to even fathom the state of emotions Flores had, knowing it was all BS. Flores' thoughts were echoed by longtime NFL coach Marvin Lewis.
I did interview with the Carolina Panthers before John Fox got the job, and I can recall that we had lost to the Steelers in the second round of the playoffs, and I remember sitting home on Monday, and I think it was Chris Mortensen or someone else reported that Foxy would be named the head coach of the Panthers on Friday.
From the Times' Hernandez once more. Talk about diversity, as Goodell did, and the image it conjures is of people in power doing a black coach a favor by hiring him. In actuality, franchise owners and GMs would be doing themselves a favor if they could eliminate their biases that limit the scope of their head coaching searches. The history of this country makes race a difficult subject to discuss. However, euphemisms often have the unintended consequences of misdirecting the conversation and maintaining the status quo, which is a microcosm of America today, as outlined by Times' Pamela Newkirk. What is playing out with Flores is not just a story about football. It's a story about the American workplace. Research shows that black candidates are, on average, less likely to be hired than even less qualified white ones. Studies have also found that white men with recent criminal records are far more likely to receive callbacks than black men with no record, and that black college graduates are 2 times as likely to be unemployed as other graduates.